Here we go.
Yeah.
Lifestyle investing. Where we invest based off our lifestyle to
building it
a
up.
future lifestyle. We got a new guest.
Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Thanks for
man.
having
What's
me.
up?
I appreciate it.
Rob is
here.
In the house.
Yeah.
So first of all, I like to do quick intros before we kind of dive in.
You got to figure out who are you?
Yeah, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
So
Tell me what you know.
First of all, huge amount of respect. I've known this guy going back to junior high.
Okay.
Last few years we kind of fell off, but we still text here and there. I've known a lot of stuff through mutual friends, heard a lot of stuff, and just have a huge amount of respect for what he does. And I think one thing that kind of stands out is some people kind of grow up in families where like the dad is doing great and whatnot, similar to his situation, right? Yeah. And they kind of just fuck it up, right? They have no work ethic. Sorry, can you talk? That no work ethic. Right, they just kind of ride the wave and think that daddy's gonna pay for me the rest of my life. But that's an exception right here, right? So he's learned how to grind while even being brought up in a family where he could have just rided the wave.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest point that I have a huge amount of respect of. And so I'm just excited that
he didn't just turn into like a selfish brat.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, daddy, I want a car. Daddy, I want this.
Exactly.
It's like, no, I'm going to fucking get that.
Yeah.
Because I want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just excited what he's going to say in the next 30, 40 minutes, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited too.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was a huge introduction.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that?
No, I mean, I think I appreciate it, first off. We've had opportunities in life that, I think I realized that probably a couple years ago, just very thankful for, having a solid upbringing and solid place to call home and all that good stuff. And, just looking around where we grew up Federal Way, right? I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of hit, like, make the most of it, right? Like, absolutely make the most of it. Learn as much as you can, and just see, because my dad is one of the few people I'd probably call role models, and seeing he came from really absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Was born in a tent, I think, in Tennessee in a military base.
Wow.
And to see him, no college education, but just kind of, literally grind it to, he's a distribution
mm-hmm.
company, and he's got 5 warehouses up and down the West Coast. And to just kind of see that level of drive, 150 employees that depend on him, and to see that from nothing, I'm going, like, it's incredible. I'm competitive at the same time too, and it's like, all right, if I got to outdo him, and I'm already stuck on this platform, like, I better get my ass to work, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
young,
cool.
baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely thankful for some of the, just being able to be sent to college and all that stuff, right? Like, super thankful for that, and just trying to make the most of it. So
cool.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. I know we got all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
I've even got questions about your dad and his impact on you, and I think I'll get into that more later, just about what kind of habits that he helped you form and things like that. But I want to know, what do you do? Like, tell me about your business, and maybe even take us through a couple of steps along the way, or maybe a couple failures.
Yeah.
Where you're at now.
No, absolutely. So I kind of got into, we call it sports nutrition and Amazon, right? So it's kind of supplements. It's kind of the foundation of my business, but it more started working at my dad's company. That's where it kind of first started. And I was a rep, kind of playing the Amazon side of things. And their core business is consumer electronics, so that's kind of where, they had some footing with Amazon and some relationships. And, I decided we should, look at sports nutrition, right? It's a good industry. It's makes sense to potentially get into and parlay those Amazon relationships and get into that. So that was kind of my first thing. I started just calling up companies I liked or products I had used and trying to get in touch with some of these guys, right? And after a couple weeks, I think we ended up signing our first client, and kind of one thing led to another there, and we were working with a lot of different, brands, right?
Okay.
And kind of managing their Amazon business as a rep or broker, if you will, right?
Okay.
And one thing led to another, some just general change. You start seeing the industry different, and wasn't a huge fan of a lot of things, and eventually that led to starting, kind of my own brand, right? And kind of, I was just like, maybe we can do it better than some of these guys, right? And no offense to any of the brands, we still have good relationships with and work with.
What's the name of your brand, real quick?
We have a couple.
Oh, okay.
A couple, yeah. So eventually we started. I started this company, Modern Man, with a partner. Ended up just buying him out like 2 months ago. So that's
Nice. Wow.
kind of back under me. It was kind of going but kind of ended up coming to a good deal with him and kind of taking sole ownership of that. The Genius brand is kind of probably our biggest one. I started that 2 years ago, short after the Modern Man one. I wasn't super comfortable with. I didn't like that partnership, right? And I wanted to do things a little bit different, and that's where this brand kind of came from. And that's been kind of all my baby or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
That's grown pretty good.
And when you say sports nutrition, you mean steroids?
Yeah, no.
just a needle condom.
Yeah, only the needle in the butt cheek.
Right.
And fast acting. I'll tear my shirt off and then a phone book in half. And I'll eat a steel bar. And
Well,
no, I don't. You got to tell me a little bit more about sports nutrition.
No. And I think
He
that's
sells
good.
bananas, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Ecuador. Anyways.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's the old school.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's good. No, I think that's good because that was kind of my problem, right? With this industry in general, it's like someone's got a freaking awful name.
Yeah,
because,
right. You have to buy it in the bathroom at the gym.
Yeah.
In the shower.
All right, I think we're talking about two different things there. It's
Why do you have to separate them? Why can't you have both?
Well, I think that was the problem with the industry, right?
Right.
It's these
It's
guys
in the
selling
back.
pills, making
Yeah.
those claims, right?
Right.
Like-
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see what you mean.
And then-
Yeah.
and-
This will do everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're putting the juice heads on, their bottle with,
Yeah.
take 2 of these, you're gonna gain 40 pounds of muscle, just like this guy. It's like, he's got limping out of there, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that was one of my problems with the industry.
I bet.
It's a lot of lies
Yeah.
and a lot of garbage, and that's kind of where Genius was born. We went, super high quality and then super realistic too. It's like,
Right.
yo,
It's not going to be overnight.
no,
It's not gonna
exactly.
have
It's
this
like we have a fat burner. It might help you burn an extra pound a week.
Okay.
You don't lose weight fast. Like that's one of the
Right.
famous claims in the weight loss. It's like diet
Right.
pills that work fast. Believe it or not, that searched a stupid amount of times on Google. Diet
Oh,
pills that
yeah.
work fast.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet.
It's embarrassing. But
Yeah.
diet pills that work without working out. It doesn't
Yeah.
really work like that. But that was one of our big things that we just wanted to kind of correct some of that stigma and just make some sort of change in the industry, right? And just kind of go over that supplements don't work. Because you hear that a lot, right?
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I totally got to see why, and there's all sorts of little
Because of
tricks.
expectations.
Exactly.
False expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and then plus on top of that, these guys make shit products. Like one of the biggest things is try to with weight loss products. People try to like ephedra, and ephedrine was really popular. It worked. 10 years ago, got banned. It's very inexpensive, so you make these pills just loaded with that, and you lose a bunch of weight, and
Because you're hungry and you're all jittery. And,
and maybe your
right.
liver fails, and
God,
it got pulled off the market for a
Yeah,
reason.
Right.
And now people just try to recreate that with really questionable shit,
Right.
and don't. And there's only a couple ingredients that will actually help you lose weight, and those are expensive, right? And people don't include those.
What are those ingredients, by the way?
Like synephrine is beneficial. It's from like orange peel. Forskolin helps your metabolism. There's like green tea when it's with caffeine. So green tea doesn't work by itself.
What about with a bunch of sugar?
Sugar?
Yeah, just green tea, no caffeine, just tons of sugar.
No.
Yeah.
That would be the opposite. Yeah.
Damn
Maybe
I read
eventually,
wrong
right?
blog. Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
Oh my! Wait, so orange peel? If you can
What if
you
you
eat
just
orange
eat up
peel?
an orange
Yeah, can you eat orange peel?
I think you can.
I don't know.
You eat a chicken bone. Does that do
You can't
anything for you?
digest a chicken bone.
Okay.
Maybe you can digest a orange.
Yeah.
peel.
That's interesting.
I know people
Right?
like sugarize orange peels or
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
dry
about.
or whatever. But all the ingredients, the extracts you need like for it to be beneficial, like synephrine, which is from orange peel,
Yeah.
it's an extract from it. So
a lot of the time they're taking, it's typically in the lab, right? And they're taking such a high dosage of the actual, derivative of it's found in nature from the orange peel, but they're taking like 500x, right? And then put it in that 20 milligram powder.
Okay.
So it'll be thousands of oranges, which is why it's so expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and like the raspberry ketones is one that got all this hype for, it doesn't actually do shit. But Dr. Oz put on a show a while back and got a ton of hype. But it was like the actual dosage you needed of raspberry ketones to make a difference would be like a whole field of raspberries, right? Like it wasn't realistic.
And it really is just fat is what you're eating at that point.
With the raspberries?
Yeah, or no, the raspberry ketones, right? Because the keto, because I do keto diet. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. I'm down like 90 from doing that.
Wow.
Congratulations. Thanks,
awesome.
man. Yeah, dude, it was a huge thing. I'll tell a story real quick of why. So I was 360 pounds, and I couldn't ride a roller coaster with my daughter. And she was like 4 years old. I'm looking at her, telling her, "Daddy's too big. You can't ride this ride." And it broke my heart. Like, I knew at that moment if I had to change something, I wasn't going to have fun with her. So I did. Like, I knew there was lots of information. The how was always there, but my why just wasn't big enough. And finally it was. And I did keto, so, no carbs, no sugar kind of thing. And then dropped about 50 really quick, but then I had to start working out to do it. And so, I've hit another wall at about 90. And so I'm going to gain some stuff from this that's going to help me from meeting with you. But I bought the raspberry ketones because they sell them in like these little Starburst looking things.
Yeah.
When you chew on them, I'm realizing,
gummies.
And I'm looking at the back, it's just fat. I mean, that's what I think it is.
Do they taste good?
Or I don't know.
Yeah,
it's made out of fake sugar. There's a ton of fake sugar in there.
Well, I think that's your actual gummy.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the raspberry ketone in there is a tiny ingredient.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was thinking it was just getting my body started on burning fat. Like I was thinking there was fat in there, and it was going to turn the fat burning on or something.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
Raspberry ketones are like the science behind them. And if you took a ton of them, and I could slightly be off on this, I haven't did raspberry ketones in a long time, but it's supposed to directly attack body fat.
Okay.
But again, it's at an insane dosage.
Okay.
But insane. So that was debunked. But it's crazy, Dr. Oz has a great following, and he talks about something.
Right.
People will buy
If he says to eat shit, people would.
Yeah.
People will probably eat shit.
No, just in tiny quantities.
They would.
Exactly. Just like that. Don't eat too much.
Exactly. You put a little bit in your tea in the morning. We actually sell these little shit tea bags that you just put in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then you put in the garden to fertilize afterwards, so it's green.
It works out.
Yeah.
It works out.
So, you get all the false claims. You get people that are going to want to believe whatever. I mean, I know like feeling that pain that I felt on that day, I was willing to do something.
What
I knew
to spend money, right?
Yeah.
In that.
But I knew I had to do something that worked.
Shitty.
Yeah. And so, I had to make a huge change in my life, though. That's how you get different results, is by making a change. Like, you have to do something different.
You do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing, too. With weight loss, it's like, at the end of the day, if you're not in caloric deficit, if you're not burning more calories than you're consuming,
it doesn't matter if I
literally
just eat
won't
sugar.
lose weight.
You can't not.
So that
it's thermodynamics, right? It's the law.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just got to break it down like that simple. It's like, synephrine has been shown in real double-blind proven studies that can help your metabolism this rate, right? So, you're burning more calories, and
so
yes,
that's
help.
side of the math.
Exactly.
If you eat 3 times as much,
you're still screwed.
Right.
So that's big. But no, congratulations, 90 pounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a new life.
And then you'll 100% get to the rest. So no, that's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, staying in this environment, pushing myself, dude. I do the daily affirmations in the morning. I exercise every day. It's that. I just got to kick it up. I got to do the caloric deficit. I'm having too much fun creating all these keto foods that are delicious. And I just eat too much of them.
Yeah, keto is interesting. I haven't, because it's a fad diet, right?
Yeah.
In some sense, but there is super concrete science behind it. And when your body does go into ketosis, you're burning fat instead of carbs and all that whatnot. So I think it's cool. I'm gonna be interested to see. Some of it's just crazy, right? Like it lost me when I see people eating a stick of butter before a workout. You know, like I've seen someone take a bite of butter.
Yeah.
You know,
I put it in my coffee in the morning, so I
Right,
totally
right,
get it.
right.
Butter and coconut oil.
And like coconut oil is super
Yeah.
healthy. Like I totally get that. It's
Yeah.
super. There's a ton of
But
healthy
the
fat.
cholesterol. And
Yeah,
the
but some
butter-
of the stuff I
Yeah.
just wonder. Like
Yeah.
you know, I go, is that gonna
Pound
be
of
good for
meat.
you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it doing to your
Right.
the
Right.
walls of your artery and your heart? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got mentors in my life, and I surround myself with people who are like helping me be accountable and they care about me. And my main mentor that I call a lot, he was like, dude, I'm not going to sign off on this diet until you go get a blood test and talk to the doctor about it. So I did, and then every 6 months for 2 years, or, you know, for 4 times, I was getting blood tests to make sure that it wasn't messing with my kidney or my liver. Because even the doctor said, yeah, keep coming back and seeing me because we got to check these levels. 'Cause, yeah, doing tons of protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get into the business.
All right. Yeah, I want to hear about it.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My question. So this is my question.
Okay, and I've got some questions right here.
Do you? Yeah. So this is my question, and it's my question. I should have memorized it. But so one, how do you decide when to invest in your business or a separate, like investment or business or whatever the case might be? Because I think that's a huge thing for entrepreneurs themselves or business owners, where it's like, and we brought this up with Ronald as well. And where like
you know to make the jump.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. How much time do you give something before you switch, that kind of thing?
Or no, not even that. Just like if you have $10,000 in your bank account,
Yeah.
like do you reinvest that all in your bank, or do you do 9,000 there and then 1,000 in another investment? Do you do like half in a real estate? Like how do you measure it? Especially like obviously the first year it's all reinvest, but now you're kind of at the stage where you have some sustainability. So like, what are your thoughts about?
Yeah. No, I think that's an awesome question. A lot of that, I mean, everyone will be different. I think purely based on their risk tolerance or whatnot. But I think just in that question, I think good ways to approach that are just your levels of certainty. And sometimes it'll be a lot harder. You maybe you're missing a piece or whatever, but I always like to gather as much information as possible, and then try to hammer out, my statistical probability of it being successful. And unfortunately, still a ton of, I'd say gut level feelings, right? I'd love to be literally all analytics, like where it's like, I know this, and this, and then if you did miss something, you come back and, that number was missing or whatever. But it's still more gut based, but it's like stock market right now, for example, right? Or putting money there. I am so uncertain. It's just, I'd be rolling a dice in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But you go back, I've been buying Amazon stock since it was $300, right? And that was kind of my long-term thing. I just wanted to continue to put money in the stock market. I'm not right now. It's so uncertain to me. I've lost. There's too many variables.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas my own business, I can kind of go, okay, Amazon's a, kind of hit or miss. From uncertain, but I know this is successful. I know we have a playbook here that works. And that's why, like buying out that Modern Man, partner wasn't a super risky decision for me. I was comfortable making that
Yeah,
decision.
that brings up a good point, because you could say if you, right now, I mean, there's probably thousands, but let's just take, there's 100 investments that are available to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you're going to knock off 90 of them just because you don't know a lot about that industry.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's a huge one. And then what we keep hearing over and over again on the show is that put your money where your life is. Like, that's what lifestyle investment really means, is like, it's if you don't know enough about it, you shouldn't be getting into it. Like, if it's not something that you're already kind of into or about, or it's in your life, it's not going to be, it's an uphill battle, basically. To do that fact finding, it's going to take a lot more than if it's a world that you're already familiar with.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Modern Man, that totally makes sense. Because if you were to right now take, a whole bunch of the profit you made in this business, put it in a business that you don't know a lot about, it's almost ridiculous, because it's like, dude, this is working, and put money over here, and it's maybe not even worth your energy to check out the data.
Right. No, absolutely. And I do think, as long as it's not a ridiculous amount of time, things are always definitely worth looking at.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I think you want to look at things as much as possible, right? Within reason. Like, like I said, real estate is still relatively new to me, but I mean, I want to spend the time to figure it out and see what's a good investment, what's not, and a lot of it just comes through time. You know, but that's what I was telling you earlier on the commercial property. I just not super comfortable right now, right? Like I could probably afford it. It's historically probably sound, and those are kind of the factors I look at, right? Like historically, it's always sound, but it's that level of uncertainty with the economy right now and all the trade stuff picking up, and this just kind of led me to back off, right? So that's kind of
When
how
you
I
say
feel
trade
about
stuff picking up, what do you mean?
the China,
Oh,
the
okay.
U.S. trade wars. Like that could have an interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's
impact.
good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's bring that up. So
Okay.
recently,
I don't know too much about it.
yeah. So recently, the U.S. They put a tariff on aluminum and steel, 10%, 25%.
Send it this way or that? Or send it that way?
Import.
Import.
Yeah, import.
Okay.
And then China throws back. Okay, we're gonna put tariffs on.
Plains, soybeans, and
Was it almonds too? I think almonds. Anyways, there's quite a few.
Okay.
There was a few ones.
That China
Yeah,
said,
cars.
we're gonna
Cars.
Cars.
Thank you.
it's 50 billion or whatever.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah, something crazy. And then now Trump is like, oh well, then we might do something else as well. So like,
Yeah.
how does that? Because this is pretty recent. How does
Yeah,
that?
well, you look at it, it's like I've always felt something's a little off with the economy lately. You know, it hasn't. There's a lot of weird factors, and I'm not an economist. You know, like I find this stuff super interesting, so I try to look at into when I can. I work 14, 15-hour days, so it's not like I can just sit there and research it all day. But there's a lot of weird things, like with just with bond. I don't know. I won't get too off topic there, but yeah, it's when you look and you see Boeing stock drop 9% in the last 2 weeks because of this, right?
And they had number one in 2017. They had biggest
Killed.
stock growth or biggest stock growth out of any other stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see that instant
Yeah.
drop off directly because of this.
Yeah.
And if this turns into a full trade war, I mean, like, really, God knows what's going to happen. And the market started to react. It died yesterday, and if the stock market follows suit, like that's kind of the general message. Everyone's super uncomfortable.
Right.
If the stock market goes south, then other things will follow suit.
Yeah.
And that just
The stock market is so weird because it's based on such a whim.
Yeah.
We've seen it over and over again. Yeah. But yeah, we want stable, and that's just not what we have right now.
No, not
You're
at
right.
all.
Yeah, and the economy does feel like it's falsely inflated because the interest rates have been kept so low.
Yeah.
So people are allowed to borrow at kind of ridiculous rates right now. Yeah.
But the interesting thing too, I've gone back and forth on that, right? Like the Fed's going to raise, and I don't think they can raise them over a point. You know, or whatever. Because the last time they got the last time they jumped, it was 2 points in a year or whatever. It caused the housing market
Yeah,
crash.
because they stopped paying their second mortgage, which was
Right.
directly related to the Fed.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
You're right. Yeah, there's such a. I mean, I would not want to be the guy that's making the decisions or part of the team that's doing it because it's the weight of our whole country.
Right.
on it. Yeah.
and just that whole. I mean, at the end of the day, it goes over my head, right?
Yeah.
Like it really does. That there's high level economists that I try to follow, but the moral of the story is I'm super uncertain on everything outside of kind of my own business right now, and the reality is that could be affected too, right? If everything takes a hit and there's just less, just money circulating, people have less money to spend, I definitely see it hit. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be me buying a building for $2 million and it being worth 1.5 a year later, or a couple years later, right?
I see what you mean. If you miss out, and here's like what I learned in the time that I've been, in the financial industry, that there's slow times and then there's really good times, and so it's about hustling all the time. So like if you put the work in on the slow times, you're gonna maybe just barely get by, and then on the good times, it's really gonna come in. And so that's probably translate to every industry. Like if you have to work your butt off, work the 14-hour days just to be able to make your bills, it's still worth it because you're doing that footwork, you're staying in it. Your competitors are falling out.
Yeah.
And then when things pick back up, because it is a cycle, man. Every 8 to 15 years or something, things go up and down.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable because we forget.
Yeah.
Our greed makes us forget, and then boom.
And a market crash might help you because the pie might get smaller.
Oh
But
man,
less people that are eating the pie go away.
there's nothing better than to be liquid in a recession or
True.
or
That's
crash.
right. Pick up assets.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not holding my breath waiting for that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I think it would still cause a lot of issues, but I'm just not super comfortable right now with things I don't know, you know. So
Boom.
I'm gonna get another question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. How did you gather the capital to start, and would you recommend other business owners to take on capital?
Yeah.
That's both good questions. I think so. For mine to start, that initial Modern Man company, it wasn't a huge, investment. We started with a couple products. I think it was, I think total between me and the partner, I think we started with like 40 or 50 grand or something, which is still good money, but that was just kind of earned from me saving, living at home.
Okay, nice.
So built up a little nest egg, and it was like, let's roll dice here. It was, I think it was most of what I had at the time, and it was kind of, let's roll the dice. I felt very confident about it though,
You're betting on yourself.
Right, exactly. And the circumstances, like with Amazon, there's a need for this, and I felt good about it. So, that's kind of how we did that one. The others, was in a little bit better spot financially and kind of bankrolled myself, but it was, again, small investments. We have a third company as well that launched, that's doing okay. Could be better, but
always,
right? Do I recommend outside capital? No,
just personally, what's your?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like no.
Yeah, I want to say no. This, I haven't taken, I haven't, but I
It depends
think,
on how much equity you're giving up. What does it need?
Yeah, all those key factors and the control aspect too. Like if you have
Yeah.
someone come in and they're going to slow things down or cloud it or whatever, which I hear more times than not.
Yeah.
Well,
It's because they're money and they want it to make
Exactly.
babies.
Exactly.
They want it to make more money. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
try not to if you can.
Right.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, what keeps you excited? And then here's another one that's gonna add into it. What are some important things that you do on a daily basis to keep yourself motivated? So it's kind of all wrapped together. Go through like at least 3 things that get you fired up and that you do on a daily basis to keep things rolling.
Yeah. No, and
be as specific as you want.
Specifics
Or be
help
as general as
these
you
guys.
want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of that is one and the same.
Okay.
If you're doing what you like, and it's super cliche, but if you like what you're doing, you're excited to get up every day, right? And you like what you're doing, and that is true. I think everyone should try to somehow manipulate a situation into be doing something they like every day.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. If you look around,
Yeah.
I don't think, again, like, I don't know if I set out for that or it just kind of happened, but it's fortunate to be in that situation where I like what we're doing. I like supplements. I like this, I've cooled on the industry a little bit, but I like general health and all that stuff, and to be able to do that, that's exciting, right? So I think that kind of drives every day, right? I get to learn something new about diet, or I get to learn something new about, a workout or whatever it might be. So that's super exciting. Other things I do, I try to get centered every day, like actually centered, and if that's and kind of picking up that whole meditation piece, which is still new to me, but I try to get present, right? And kind of live like I'm in that moment, in that day. I'm super thankful and appreciative of everything.
Yes.
And I think that, man, that goes for literally everyone, because like we're doing pretty well, my fiance and I. But there were times like last year I found myself like, man, I just had a buddy sold his company for 15 million or whatever, and it's like, that should be me. That should
of course.
It's really easy being driven and wanting more. It's really easy to kind of beat yourself up on that, right? Like there's always gonna be someone that has more. There'll always be someone that has less. It's just it's true.
Yeah.
You gotta love the journey, baby.
No, exactly.
Yeah, and I think one of the bigger mindset shifts was just trying to be better than who I was yesterday.
Yeah.
Period. Like really period. And I think that was one thing that just kind of on an everyday basis is important. That perspective. So that's big. And then I'd say the third thing is I really take some good. I don't like calling them employees, right? They're friends, they're family, and kind of their goals are super important to me.
Yeah.
And their goals drive me every day to get. Like, there are days you don't want to do it, even if you do like it. There's days you don't want to get up and grind out the entire day. But just kind of knowing those guys' goals and their aspirations, one wants a house, at the end of this year, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I know they put their time in. I want to do the exact same to try to reciprocate that and help them reach their goals.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing, the
Yeah.
team aspect.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, hearing that makes me want to help you because it's so awesome.
Yeah.
And dude, yeah. So you've heard a little bit about my story and how I've grown, and being present is so important because, especially with eating, I mean, and this is probably for any bad habit that you want to get rid of or anything in your life that's taking you away from your higher self or that better self.
Yeah.
If you're not in the moment, you can't make the decision. Like, our brain is so cool that it'll take us on this autopilot, and if you're not present, you can't stop the autopilot. You can't put the food down. You can't stop doing the destructive behavior. So it's being in that moment. Gratitude is so important in my life. Every morning, every night, I breathe in the 3 things I'm really grateful for. And just staying in that, like, fear can exist there. You know what I mean? Fear doesn't exist when I'm grateful. That scarcity, like I hear what you're saying, like, why isn't this me, or there's not enough, like, I'll get into that. Or if a deal goes weird, I can turn one small conversation that didn't go my way into blowing my whole day if I don't think about the other 7 people I'm helping right now, kind of thing. So yeah, dude, that's powerful. That's amazing.
Dude.
Yeah, thank you for that.
It's a good
That's
response.
Cool. Yeah, well, it's powerful. I mean, gratitude is, I believe, one of the most powerful forces.
Yes.
I mean, it can change so much. Like, for me, I even turn it to the future, and I'll imagine something. So say, like, stress hits me, I'm anxious about a situation. I'll take a second, kind of breathe into visualizing that thing exactly how I want it and being grateful for already receiving it. And then immediately I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Because we are powerful and we can manifest. And we already are. Like, the life that I'm living today is because of thoughts that I've been having for the last however many years or months. So it's knowing that information. I just have to put better ingredients into that. So it's cool. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. I know we're gonna have to wrap up here in a minute.
Oh man, time flies.
Yeah, when I wrote this question, I thought you were M&M.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought you were like a multi-level marketing.
No.
Yeah, because I was like, supplements. Wait a minute. Am I gonna have to put a patch on my belly and we're gonna sell to everybody?
Very anti.
Okay, and I hear that. I've been selling something since I was 18. Like, I started with cell phones and then gotten banking. And so I've always been approached by people that lie to me. That was the worst part about MLMs. Like, come meet my mentor. He's a millionaire. He's going to teach you. And then I show up and
you're about to get this car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's cool. I'm either way, I would have loved to meet you, but it would have been a little bit awkward if you were an MLM guy. But I'm so glad you're not. But here's what I said. Let me see this.
Is it even relevant?
It might not be relevant. Here's the question. How long did it take you before you became successful with this model? Because I'm basically going to be saying,
Yeah.
who's driving the Ferrari? Yeah. Have you made
Does anyone
more
else have one?
Yeah. Have you made more than $60 a month
Oh,
since you started working?
No.
How much Bitcoin do you have?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we pretty much got to end here right now, but I want to get some final thoughts from you. I want to talk a little bit more about your business. Say anything you want to say about it, than anything else.
Well, kind of on that note, really quick, just want to fit in there. I do think cryptocurrency is the future. I do think that.
We talk a lot about it on here.
Yeah, we
We've
do.
had a lot of people.
Do you really?
We've had a few people who have made good money on it and who are really into it.
I've lost money.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the only people that will admit that, right? Like,
No, you're not.
I'm
We
down,
have a whole episode
I'm down
about
like 20 G's right now.
right,
It's the
getting
long term.
It's a lot to.
Yeah.
a little too excited, the market's going bonkers.
Well, when things go up by like 4 or 5 times, it's hard not to try to jump in there.
Right. It's,
Are you comfortable saying what cryptocurrencies you bought?
Yeah.
What
what I bought or what I still hold?
And both.
I still have Bitcoin. I have a lot of Ethereum. I still hold Litecoin too. All the 3 main Coinbase ones or whatever. And then I have Tron. I've been holding Tron for a while. Tron burnt me because I made a lot on it and then lost a lot on it.
Just like Ripple.
I have Ripple. Ripple does alright. Stellar. EOS I think could be big. I think I need more of that. I say that could. Yeah. Dragon Chain's another one that's interesting. So I think that's everything in the portfolio there.
Huh. So your thoughts on crypto? As two perspectives. Use case and then from a investor's point of view.
Oh man, I think it's going to do I think it'll be the next internet. I really do. I think it's going to change the world as the internet did. I just finished a really good book, Blockchain Revolution, and it's I really recommend reading that, and it kind of breaks out as we move to more AI, as we move to kind of this different world. Remember, we're in the fourth generation of the internet right now. It's
Still pretty new.
Yeah. And crypto, fast forward 40 years, it gets implemented like it's supposed to. Like if Ethereum gets where it's supposed to, and all that, it could change how we do everything. People will own their data. It's the ledger of everything. It won't just be currencies necessarily. It's going to be the ledger of everything, and things will be used. They'll be verified on the blockchain. Like I should say, blockchain is going to be the future of everything. Like even in supplements, you can use blockchain to verify every piece of the supply chain, every single bit from where that ingredient came in China to and the blockchain verifies it on a ledger. So if you're that consumer, you're able to go publicly look at that, just like you are with Bitcoin. Now you can see every single transaction that's happened, right? It's all publicly verified. So I think
that's powerful. I never even thought about that application.
No. It's mind blowing, and it applies to literally everything. You'll be
like from Big Mac to your Lexus.
Well, that's just food, right? You can be sharing power with you start getting go to artificial intelligence and like the Internet of Things, right? And we get more and more. It gets really out there, right?
We'll
Really
check out that book.
complicated.
I'll only put a link to the book on the comments.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Say one more time.
Blockchain revolution.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. I fully think it's going to revolutionize the world in the next 40 years, right? Like you remember where the internet was in the very beginning stages. No one even used it, whatever. But you fast forward 40 years, and it's global thing. I think just from sending money, right? Like in no offense, I think banking is just so overdue for a rehaul. It's not even funny,
for sure.
right? Like
Dinosaurs, baby.
it really is. And there's a reason they're all running to patent a lot of this blockchain stuff, right? Like they want to try to get it before it gets them.
Yeah. Right.
So it's going to be an interesting world in the next couple with blockchain.
And I'll put your links there too, because we want to direct people to where they can buy your products. I'm hearing Amazon. That's the main place where you guys are selling. Okay.
And then we might. We've been in talks with Vitamin Shop forever.
Okay.
I won't say anything about Vitamin Shop, but it's been a frustrating ordeal.
Okay, we can imagine.
I think we're going to also Whole Foods as well.
Okay,
Regional
nice.
test.
Nice,
So that's
dude.
cool. Yeah.
We'll want to have you back on in 6 months if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Dude, that's
For
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know. I feel like I could talk for a lot more time, dude.
Oh, man. Do you have a website?
Supplementsmarter.com is the genius
Supplement
site.
Smarter.
So okay, we'll put it in the link as well.
Modern nutrition is modern.
Well, what's your email address if people want to have any questions?
It's genius@supplementsmarter.com.
We'll pop it in there
That's
as
super
well.
arrogant.
Yeah, no, I fully. Well, I
I'm just
fully
kidding.
think. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you. And I'll email. Like that's how I email the Whole Foods buyer, right?
Oh,
and I'm
nice,
kind of like,
exactly.
he's got to be thinking the same thing. Originally, Supplement Smarter was going to be like 4 different brands, and Genius was going to be the contact one for that, right?
Nice, yeah.
So I still more use my R. Oliver at Oliver Marketing email.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've fully got that a couple times.
I'm just messing with you, kind of.
Hey,
I know, yeah. If you're a boss, you're a boss.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
right.
you're a boss, right?
Awesome.
All right, guys, we're going to
All
wrap
right.
up. Mike, myself,
Yep.
Ross in the house. Thanks for giving us some of your time. We're going to put all the info in the descriptions. Hit us up if you have any questions. Lifestyle investing.